Today's learning target is I can construct and interpret a stem and leaf plot. Use the pulse rate data to make a stem and leaf plot. So let's go ahead and let's just make our stem and leaf plot and look at how it's set up. So I'm going to make one side that's a little bit smaller that says stem, and then one side that says leaf. And now what this plot does is it breaks up the numbers for the ones and tens digits. So now we're going to list the data in our stem and leaf plot. So we're going to look at the lowest number, and that lowest number is 63. So I'm going to put a 6 on the stem side, and then on the leaf side, I'm going to put the 3. So this represents 63. Now I'm going to cross that out. Now the next highest number is 65, so I'm going to put a 5 over on the leaf side. And notice I'm not putting a comma between any of the numbers. I'm just leaving a little bit of space between the leaf side, like the numbers 3 and 5. And I'm going to continue to keep that same amount of space throughout each number to make this plot look as organized and neat as it can be. And then I see an 8 for 68. Excuse me, and now that's all the 60s. Now I gotta look at the 70s, and again I want to go from least to greatest. So I'll write a stem or 7 in the stem side, and then this would be, I see a 72, I see another 72, so I have to repeat that, and then I see a 74, a 75, and that looks like it's all of the 70s. Now I'll take a look at the 80s, so I'll write 8, and then 0 on the leaf side, a 2, a 4, and then an 8. And lastly, I see I have a 90, so 9, 0. Now with this plot, I have to make sure, fix that 9 or 0 there, I include a key. So a key tells the reader how to read this graph. So I'll write key, and then if I have 5-1, that really represents 51. Right, so I could give any example that I want to really represent, hey, how do you read a stem and leaf plot? Well, you just got to tell the reader, number dash, another number represents that number together. So 5-1 represents 51. Now we can answer any questions about the stem and leaf plot. So what is the highest pulse rate? Well, let's look. We have here the highest number would be 90, lowest would be 63. So here the highest pulse rate would be 90. Let's change colors. 90 beats per minute. And then what is the median? So let's go ahead and find the middle. So again, if I cross out the numbers as I go, the 0 crossed out with the 3, 88, crossed out with 65. So again, I'm crossing out least to greatest, and I already really have them organized from least to greatest. I just have to make sure that I cross these out accordingly. 84 cancels with 68, 82 with 72, 80 with 72, and so I'm left here between 74 and 75. So again, to figure out the median, and we know this from the mean, median, and mode lesson, 74 plus 75 divided by 2 will be 74.5 beats per minute. And this would be the stem and leaf plot for example 1. Let's take a look at another example. The list below shows the number of stories of some of the tallest buildings in Houston, Texas. Use the data to complete the stem and leaf plot. So I'm going to go ahead and make stem and leaf. I'm going to go ahead and list the numbers here, and I see I have numbers in the 30s, I have them in the 40s, 50s, and I don't have them in the 60s, but I'm going to label a 6 just in case I miss something. So now let's go ahead and fill in the numbers. So I see I have 36 and another 36. Again, we don't have commas, we just leave spaces in between. I see a 42. I see a 44. I see a 45. And 2 46s, I believe. Yep, 2 46s. And I see 2 47s. And then I see 2 49s. 50, I see 1, 2 50s. And I see a 52, 53, 55, 56. And then, yes, I did see a 60. and a 70. So I'll go ahead and label 64, and then I have 71 and 75. Now we don't have any questions to answer here, but we can't forget to make a key. So key, we could say, 3-2 really represents 32. So our readers know how to read the stem and leaf plot. Now let's take a look at the next example. Use the following back-to-back stem and leaf plot to answer the following questions. So as you see below, that's a back-to-back stem and leaf plot, and what this can do is this can compare stem and leaf plots. So here in the middle would be the stem. Whoops, let's highlight that instead. And then on both sides of it would be the leaves. But different sides are different data sets. So this side over here is different than this side over here. So let's go ahead and answer a few questions about this back-to-back stem and leaf plot. What is the highest morning relative humidity? Well, the highest there we could see would be in blue, and that would be 89%. So you can kind of see right there. What is the lowest? I should say is the lowest afternoon relative humidity. Well, the afternoon there would be the lowest 51%. And the last question, does the relative humidity tend to be higher in the morning or the afternoon? Well, if we read our graph, we see the morning, they're all larger numbers, right? 89, 84, 78, as opposed to the afternoon, which is 51, 53, 57, things like that. So here we'll write morning. If you watch the news, you'll also know that that is true because they also give, relative humidity with temperature as well as temperature on the news. Perhaps you also will be learning that in your science class. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. Bye-bye.